Alright, good morning everybody. My name's Tristan Folks, and today we're going across the state of Missouri to head to the AdventHealth 400 at Kansas Speedway. I was lucky to get the opportunity to go out to this race, so this would be my fourth race of the year and first intermediate legitimately of the year, so I'm excited for that. Hopefully see some good racing as per usual at Kansas, and I'll try to get a lot of battles for position. We'll see how today goes when filming. Once again, we do have objectives to complete, just like last time at Talladega. The first one will be to send a message to a healthcare worker and get a response back, which is affiliated with the race sponsor AdventHealth. Number 2 is make a call against my favorite NFL team, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, in favor of Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs when passing their stadium. Number 3, get barbecue in Kansas City at Q39 and rate your lunch. I'll film our journey across the entire state of Missouri from St. Louis all the way to Kansas City. Let's go. Alright, we have now completed our first objective now that we got a response. Also, if y'all haven't checked out the Netflix series for NASCAR Season 2, showing off the playoffs, it's very good. I feel low-key it was better than last year, so overall, I've enjoyed it a lot, so check that out. Very good, so I give it a 10 out of 10 because I love NASCAR. So, anyways, still driving an I-70. There are 2 fouls on the play. Being too big on the field and scaring Patrick Mahomes. Defense, number 50 and number 56. They have been ejected from the game and will be sent to Chiefs Kingdom Prison. Automatic, Chiefs win. It may be a call if it gets to that point. If Tampa and the Chiefs make it to the Super Bowl, Alright, we have made it to get some KFC barbecue, and there are people literally waiting outside. I did an online order. It opens in 2 minutes. There's people waiting in their cars and like everything, so clearly the hype is already there. Here we go. It even was ready early, but yeah. They're already there working. Inside is already packed and it's only been open for 10 minutes, like no joke. And this parking lot is continuing to fill. It's also Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day to my mom. We'll include my Nana in that too. I enjoy featuring y'all in videos, and I can't wait to see you in the future. Other than that, we're gonna dig into this, and we're gonna watch Canada play Lavia while we eat. Alright, so we got the smoking chart half chicken. Then with our side that we got the orzo pasta salad. And then we got a couple of chipotle honey sauces. Alright, since it's a bone, we're gonna pick this thing up. Let's see. Yeah, this is great stuff. This is overall great stuff. Rating at the end of the video, we'll get to it. I would not be shocked if I look like a mess already. But this is like quality stuff. Now we're gonna have some of this pasta orzo salad. There's some Parmesan on top of it too, but let's see how it goes. I wish I had a spoon. Yeah, has some red pepper in it too. A bit of, tell what this is. Yeah, this is great after that chicken. Alright, so now I'm gonna rate everything I had. So the chicken, I was a much bigger fan of the second piece than the first. Overall, I'd give it a 9. It was pretty good. And then for the orzo, I absolutely loved that. I put that at a 10, honestly. There's a lot of other options here, so if you're ever in KC, come to Q39. Great people around. Lots of people literally eating in front of me. Overall, because of that, we'll give it a 9.5. Maybe next time I'll try their mac and cheese. Other than that, now we're going to be heading over to Kansas Speedway. And then once we get there, as per usual, my NASCAR fantasy picks. Alright, we are now going to make my NASCAR fantasy picks that have already been made for obvious reasons. So my first guy, we're going to have Kyle Larson, who's probably going to be repping the wall all day and be out front most of the race, if not the entire race. I also have Chris Buescher. I like his speed. He looked really good in practice as well. Then I have Christopher Bell, who seems to get the most speed at this track in general, but Larson knows how to get to the wall a bit better. So I was just doing that little difference. I also have William Byron. He's also starting up front. I think they're a fast car. I feel he's a big short run guy for the most part. And then I have Ty Gibbs. He blew a tire in practice yesterday, but I felt I saw enough that he was fast, and qualifying showed me enough. So I'm gonna have him in the lineup. And in the garage right now, I'm gonna have Denny Hamlin. I expect him to get to the front. I just think all these other guys are really fast, and when I was here last time during the playoff race, a lot of dirty air did not allow for a lot of moves until we started seeing traffic, because dirty air obviously. But anyways, those are going to be my 6 drivers of choice. For my matchups, I'm going to have Bubba Wallace over Alex Bowman. Bubba Wallace should be a long run car. I thought I would put him in, but I chose Hamlin because Bubba hasn't got the results last year, unlike Hamlin, even though he's won here before. Then I have Tyler Reddick over Ross Chastain. I think Chastain's fast, but Reddick is going to be very fast as well, and I expect him to run inside the top 10 for sure. And then I have Chase Elliott over Joey Logano. I'm not convinced about Joey Logano, unlike last week. I feel his qualifying effort may have been a fluke due to the shade, honestly. And then this one is the real hard one, but I chose Christopher Bell over Denny Hamlin. I watched the Netflix series, and Bell definitely cost himself getting the wall twice. I couldn't remember that happening until I watched the Netflix series, but that's why I'm going to go Bell this time, look for a little redemption. Other than that, let's run to the track. Alright, fit of the day. It's literally the same thing as Talladega, so go back to Talladega if you want to see that. Notably, I do have the Canada soccer keychain down in turn 3, where the soccer stadium is at. Canada beat the USA 2-1, and they beat Peru 1-0. So we had a really good year out here last year. So hopefully next time we come back out here, more winning.
Our longest partner, the Kansas Lottery, they both us since before we opened that were given to us by God, not by government.
Glad you appreciate me.
Especially mine. We appreciate you. We love you all so much. The Kansas Speedway, where speed meets the heart. And hopefully we'll catch up to the drivers before they climb in the window. But for now, take a look.
Yeah, a hot day, but a beautiful day here in Kansas. Hopefully have a good day, but hopefully this doesn't fail.
Listen, I know you like working with the American flag, and big user, and one more for us for the Lord American flag. Most famous words in motorsports, some of our NASCAR moms.
Update already. Todd Gibbs is going to the rear, so I put Denny Hamlin in my lineup, and now Gibbs is going to the garage. So changes before the race.
A little bit. I was looking up Chase Elliott's average finish here is 9. So in a top 10 finish was made out like plus 150. So it seemed like a pretty smart thing. I'm not knowing right now. I think I played 6 different ones, and then I don't play maybe one of them. So
As they head down pit road, the pony peeling off the racetrack from the 7th position. It's going to be, or sorry, the 9th position that was. Give you some strategy. Definitely some strategy being played here. Hamlin is also in. Bunch of drivers falling back at the back. You look at final front. 5 tenths of a second practice yesterday. Larson, he's going to go to the inside. Propel, he's going to go up top. And then the others will follow behind them. We get 1 lane. Then the left starts to One in it. So Elliott chooses the inside. Larson is over Down the chain link reaction into Kyle Busch and that Rebel Chevrolet. Field Care Center, but again, that contact, the outside wall of the tornado, running center, to get an entire lap completed. Four drivers heading up the road.
in dominant fashion, starts first, finishes first. The first two stages were very calm. I would say stage 1 got very spread out, and we saw a lot of mistakes on pit road, just like when I was in Talladega. And then stage 3 got completely hectic, and then we had one calm restart, which is why I went green all the way towards the end. If we had a longer run, I think we would have saw a battle for the lead, but you know, the fastest car won today in clean air, so he deserves it. Not a bad race at all. So other than that, we'll do a final review probably back at home, since I'm gonna drive back in 4 hours, so we'll see you then. All right, well, this definitely isn't the day after the race now, because this video was supposed to go out on Thursday. But then I saw the news about Chris Buescher when they took his car to the R&D. They found something with the nose, 60-point penalty, suspension of the crew chief, massive fines. So that's why I delayed this video until Friday. So that's a massive loss for them. I believe they dropped 24th in the points, so that could have been all the other RFK cars. But anyways, we're gonna talk about the race. The first stage, I would say it was really boring in my opinion. It was very spread out than usual in my opinion, since I was last at that track. Allmendinger had an engine expire. Then the second stage, it went green all the way, and we got to see that long run play a factor with Chase Elliott catching up to Kyle Larson. Lots of mistakes on pit road in that stage too. And then we went on to stage 3, which just got completely hectic. Caution after caution, took out a lot of cars, so unfortunate there. And then because we had all those cautions, we end up having not a long enough green flag run to see if Bell or Blaney can pass Larson. So it was an alright race. I wish it would have played out, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of people that absolutely could have beat Larson, they shot themselves in the foot. Whether it's something on pit road, blowing the tire, all sorts of stuff. Larson 100% dominated the race, but do you think he got away with it? I would say so. He got away with that one low-key, because once you get in the traffic, that's when he struggled. I'll be at Nashville coming up in a few weeks, so hopefully I'll do much better there, but I felt I did my best, honestly, and I got to enjoy the race more and more as it went on. Fantasy did not pan out, but oh well. I made all that ground up just to be behind even more, so I guess it is what it is. So we have the All-Star race this weekend, so make sure you do your fan vote pick. If it's Friday, I'll be having Ryan Preece, if you saw my last video, and we'll just have to see what happens, but hopefully it'll be a good one at North Wilkesboro. Then we go on to Charlotte, and then I'll post another NASCAR video, and then we'll be in Nashville. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching, and I hope you have a blessed day. Take care.